Come on, keep going. 44 seconds.
Still.
You got it. Stick with it.
What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emmeline and I'm currently training for my first triathlon, which is going to be Ironman 70.3 in Victoria, and it's coming up very soon. I do apologize for the delayed video. Last week was just such a whirlwind. Too many things just happened and life just got caught up with me, which I'll explain in a little bit. But first, let's go over last week's training. So it was actually a recovery week, so the volume was on the lower end. However, this week's volume was even lower. As you can see here, this week's total was 68%, and you can see that on Friday, it looked like I only swam for 5 minutes. Saturday, I only ran for 14 minutes when I believe this was scheduled to be a 30-minute run, 25-minute run, and I ran less than that. And then on Sunday, it looks like I only ran for 15 minutes. That whole week was just such a I wouldn't say a complete write-off, but so many different things happened that I had to deprioritize my training. Otherwise, if I tried to do all of it, my body would be in stress mode, and that just negates the whole point of a recovery week. Thankfully though, the first part of the week actually started off really strong. I was able to fit in my swim in the morning, and then Tuesday actually started off pretty rough. I am getting ready for a bike ride / brick run session. I'm not looking forward to this because I'm quite tired because, hey, this little pussycat, come here, kept us up all night. We're actually cat sitting for like 2 weeks, and we just got him yesterday evening. And he was getting comfortable with us up until we went to bed. Here, come here. Up until we went to bed, he started meowing the entire time and just kept pawing on Kian and my head and just, nonstop. So we were up all night. So Tuesday was kind of going downhill. Thankfully, with my bike ride and my brick run, I was able to do it later in the afternoon. And the bike interval that I did was 15-minute warm up, and then I had to do 3 minutes at a fast zone 5 and had to repeat that 3 times. Then there was a recovery interval, and then I had to do that main set again, and then a cool down for 5 minutes. And overall, it was pretty good. Like, the zone 5 was really hard, but it was comfortably hard. Like, I was able to push through it. Thankfully, I had the music to keep me going. And then the run, which was a 15-minute run, again, pretty easy. It was at race pace, but it was 15 minutes, so it was fairly short. Good morning. So it is Wednesday, and typically on Wednesdays I fit in a swim in the morning, but I skipped out on that because the cat once again kept me up almost all night, especially earlier this morning. And so I was like, you know what, I need to sleep in some more and catch up on some sleep. So instead, I am going to push that swim to tomorrow, and I'm going to fit in a 50-minute easy run. I'm gonna get ready and then go out and do a little bit of a lunch run and then do some strength. And then later today, I'm finally gonna get in a massage to loosen up the muscles, because I feel like my left hip and low back and quads are just so tight, so I need to really loosen that up. So hopefully I'll feel a lot better after that. I did not expect the sun to come out. I made the wrong decision wearing a black long sleeve. I honestly cannot catch a break this week. Like, first it was the cat, and now my tooth has been hurting this past like 3 days. So I booked an emergency dental appointment, and hopefully we can get this sorted. So Thursday was rough. I actually ended up getting a root canal. So obviously I had pain in my mouth. I was like, my body went through so much stress already. I don't want to put it in even more stress. So I ended up skipping out my workout, which was supposed to be a 60-minute steady ride. And I think there was some zone 3 efforts in there. So I was like, no, I can't. I would rather just rest because my body is already up here. And I was like, this is meant to be a recovery week, so let's skip that.
She's going on their first swimming session. She's going to try her wetsuit for the first time in open water.
Also trying open water swimming for the first time ever. Focus on the breathing.
Focus on the breathing. Look, you got the wetsuit, and you're going to find out how easy it is to swim with the wetsuit. It's going to be a good confidence booster.
I'm so hot already.
Yeah, it's surprisingly warm out.
Apparently it's 23 degrees.
And the struggle to get the suit on
hot.
begins. It is hot.
Really hot.
See, it's going to be refreshing when in the cold water.
Too big to put this on.
You got some hickeys on your neck.
Oh yeah, got it from all the acupuncture.
Oof.
What? It's recovery week. Gotta get all the TLC. Okay.
That's the hardest part, is just getting the hips up.
Okay, let me just try the water first. It's cold.
How was that?
I went out way too fast. It was cold. And yeah, I can only see sand. But yeah, the cold like shocks the system. And that's why I was like, oh my God, I have to go faster to warm up, but it just tires you out so quickly. Because I wasn't meant to do anything strenuous after a root canal being done, I'm like, okay, Friday I'm gonna take it easy, but I did want to try my wetsuit. So yeah, my first open water swim, I felt like I was going so far, but I only swam like a total of 400 meters. But yeah, it is definitely interesting. Like, practicing the transitions, especially taking off the wetsuit, is something I need to get better at because yeah, it is a lot more difficult than I thought. And the lake is still pretty cold, but it did give me a good idea of what to expect race day. I'm hoping the water warms up a little bit, especially when there's more people in there. But yeah, I really had to like calm myself down and just kind of breathe and not try and hyperventilate, because that's the last thing you want, and then, you know, end up having a panic attack. So yeah, overall, I mean, it was okay. Like, the visibility in the water, obviously there was none, so I just really have to get used to that because I'm so used to seeing that black line in the pool. So yeah, I definitely practiced some sighting. I could use a bit more practice on that, and then just trying to get used to not freaking out and just staying calm. So definitely gonna try that going into my next open water swim practice, and then hopefully nail down the whole like taking off the wetsuit. So since it was race weekend here in Vancouver, all my friends, including Kian, my partner, had a race happening on Sunday. And so I was hosting a little shakeout run Saturday morning. So I met up with Run Club and we did about 15 minutes of very easy running. So I led that. So I was like, you know what, because I ran and did this little shakeout run, I'm not going to do my brick run later on again, just based on what my body went through this past week, I didn't want to put too much from a training perspective because I really want my body to recover. So instead of that, I skipped out on the brick run, but I did fit in my long ride. By the time I got home from the shakeout run, it was already late in the afternoon and the motivation was so low that I almost didn't do this ride, but I finally got it done. Thankfully, because it's recovery week, the workouts aren't as intense. So for this 2-hour ride, it was easy riding for a good part of it, and then there was a little bit of a working set where I had to do 30 seconds at zone 5 and then 30 seconds at easy spinning, and I had to repeat that 10 times. So that was about 10 minutes of work, and then the rest was easy riding. I did not fit in my long run, although I was running around the whole city of Vancouver chasing Kian because he was running his marathon and he did so well. He ran like a 3:05 or 3:07, I think was his official time. Oh my goodness, I was stressing because the plan was that I would film him at different parts of the course. And so I went to the start line, and then as soon as he went off, I was like, okay, I gotta run to the car because we parked quite ways away from the start line because you can't really access the circumference of the park since it's closed off to everyone that's running. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta run to the car, drive, and make sure I don't like come into the closed roads or construction. And thankfully I made it to, I believe it was like the 9 or 10 kilometer mark, and I was able to catch him there. And then there was another stressful moment where I had to go drive where it's typically high traffic. So that's where I was kind of stressing because I'm like, Keen is pretty fast, so I really hope I can make this. I did. Sometimes I was kind of overreacting, but overall, like, I was just chasing him around town. Even though I was driving, being a spectator can actually be quite tiring, just constantly screaming and cheering everyone on and running from one spot to another. Yes, I wasn't running a marathon, but it still does take a lot out of you. So, I tried to record as much as I can every time I did run, and it looked like the total time I was running was about 15 minutes. So it wasn't quite the 75 minutes that I was scheduled to do. However, I did a lot of walking. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to keep it to that. Again, it's recovery week, so at least the body has enough time to recover rather than like trying to push myself to do things, especially when events like this is happening throughout the week. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't the week that I had expected. Again, this is something that I have tried to work through in my previous training sessions where, you find that balance between training and life stressors, because when you're training, that adds another layer of stress to the body. So when life stressors are up here, you don't necessarily want the training stressors to be up here as well, because then that would lead to burnout and injury. So this time around, even though I'm quite disappointed that my weekly total isn't at 100%, I am proud to say that I was able to balance life stressors and my training stressors adequately, I think. And so I'm hoping to go into the following week nice and strong and very recovered, because, I didn't really do too much training or activity this past week. Sometimes I face that training guilt where I'm like, oh no, like, am I going to lose my fitness? But because I've been building for the past few months and I'm only a couple weeks away, it's honestly not going to make that huge of a difference. But yeah, this week was definitely a lesson learned type of week, but I'm happy to say that, my stress isn't up here for this coming week. So that concludes my week of workouts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested, I do have a series where you can catch up on the rest of my Ironman 70.3 journey. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a later video. Bye!